Hello everyone. This is our lecture of Advanced Java Programming. It's a theory lecture and its first unit is applet. In the last lecture we have seen different types of applets, that is simple applet and japlets. Then we have seen J label, that is japlet label, how we label to a particular japlet, that also we have seen. After that we have seen different text fields, buttons, combo boxes, check boxes, tab panes, and we have seen the program for all these things, what how to give a label to a particular image or anything in the applet. That also the program for that we have seen. Then we have seen program how to create the buttons in that particular applet. That program also we have seen. How to add the combo boxes, then how to add the check boxes, tab panes, the program for Java program for each and everything we have seen till now. And HTML program also we have seen, and how the corresponding output is appeared on the screen, that also we have seen till now. Today we will see a new topic in this unit 1 applet only, that is scroll panes. Scroll panes, a J scroll pane, that is Japlet scroll pane or Java scroll pane you can call it as also, is used to make the scrollable view of a component. When screen size is limited, we use a scroll pane to display a large component or a component whose size can change dynamically. Means scroll pane means in general we can consider the example of an image. Okay, I'm having an image. If I'm zooming out that if I'm zooming that image, means if when I zoom that image, I can see each and every part of that particular image. But for the purpose of viewing each and every part properly, I have to, what I have to do, I have to scroll the screen. Okay, either I have to scroll to left side, right side, upward, down, then I will be able to see each and every part properly. That is nothing but the scrolling of the screen. Here scroll panes, we can add scroll panes to that particular japlet for the scrollable view of any component. When the screen size is limited, we use a scroll pane to display a large component or a component whose size can change dynamically. Okay, next, a scroll pane is component that presents a rectangular area in which a component may be viewed horizontally, and or vertically scroll bars may be provided if necessary. Okay, getting it means we can view a rectangular area and we can have the arrows over that particular. We can move to the horizontal by pressing or clicking that horizontal arrow towards right side. If we want to move towards the left side, then we can click over the that particular left arrow. But full rectangular screen is provided with the scrollable panes. That is nothing but the scroll panes in this japlets. Now we'll see constructors. What are the constructor presents in this particular scroll panes? First is J scroll pane, then J scroll pane component, J scroll pane int, and J scroll pane component comma int. Now we'll see what is the purpose of all these constructors in this particular scroll panes. It creates a scroll pane. The component parameter when present sets a scroll panes client. Okay, whatever component that prepares a scroll pane client, means whatever the scroll pane we want to create, that particular is presented by J scroll pane component. The two int parameter when present sets the vertical and horizontal scroll bars policies respectively. Why to int? Because it can scroll towards vertical and towards horizontal, upward, downward, vertically, left, like that, right side. That's why we need these two int values, so that by that particular value, whichever is given in that int, by that value we can shift the screen, or we can zoom out, or we can scroll towards that particular size. That is nothing but the purpose of all these constructors. Next we will see one example for this scroll pane. In this, import java.swing jframe, import java swing.j scroll panes. We are using here scroll pane, so that we have to import that particular file. Import java x.swing.j text area. We are using here text area. We have seen in the last point why text area we are using, and what is the purpose of that particular text area, for adding extra line. Public class J scroll pane example, private static final long serial version UID is equal to 1L, private static void create and show GUI is nothing but the graphical user interface, means we can see on the screen whatever we want to scroll, the graphical image of that is seen on the screen. Create and set up the window, whatever the window, graphical means is nothing but we can see the window or rectangular window for that particular scrolling purpose. Final J frame which is equal to new J frame scroll pane example, display the window. We are whatever we are writing here, that is scroll pane example, it will display the window. Frame set size 500, frame set visible, that is true. Frame dot set default close operation, J frame dot exit on close. Set flow layout for the frame dot get content pane, set layout new flow layout. J text area which is equal to new J text area 2020. This was the example. This is, we are continuing further. J scroll pane scrollable text area which is equal to new J scroll pane text area, we are adding their text area. Scrollable text area set horizontal scroll bar policy, J scroll horizontally horizontally scrollable text area set vertically scroll bar policy, J scroll pane dot vertical scroll bar policy. Frame dot get content pane add scrollable text area for the purpose of horizontally scrollable area, and for the purpose of vertical scrollable area we are using these two upper lines. Then public static void main string args, java x dot swing utilities invoke latter new runnable. Public void run create and show GUI, whatever the window we want to scroll, that will be shown at the output. Now we will see the output. This is nothing but the output. As we have seen scroll pane example, we have written here scroll pane example. You can see in the blue ink, that is scroll pane example, that was name given for that particular scroll pane. And you can see a window where you can scroll by using the arrows. For the scrolling purpose horizontally, you can press on the horizontal arrows. One is indicating towards left side, that is horizontally left. One is indicating towards right side, that is horizontally right. And second, vertically you can see a line where there are also two arrows, one indicating upward and one indicating downward vertically. This is nothing but the scroll pane, how that scroll pane window appears, window or you can call it as applet. That scroll pane example GUI image applets on the appears on the screen. Okay, this is a simple scroll pane, means just for the purpose of understanding what is actually the scroll pane, we have seen this example. Means in that there is no image or there is no video, nothing is there, only we have seen a simple blank particular window and scroll panes, how the scroll panes we are using. Now we will see a scroll pane by using an image. Just like that, I have told you an example of the image. If you are watching an image on the mobile phone, you zoom that image and you scroll that image towards left side, right side, upward side, downward side. Just like that, in the PC or computer, you cannot do it with your finger because there you have to use that mouse. So that there we are using this scroll pane, so that by using mouse and by clicking on these arrows, you can see or you can see the zoomed view of that particular image. Now, how a scroll pane works. Now we will see here how that particular scroll pane works practically. Here is a snapshot of an application that uses a customized scroll pane to view a photograph. We can see a photograph on the screen, that is photograph of a flower. We can see how that practically. Here blue line, vertically blue line and horizontally blue lines are given, and you can see the arrows there. Below that vertically blue line, you can see an arrow, and next to the horizontal blue line, you can see two arrows to moving or to scrolling towards left side, right side, upward and downward. This is how the scroll pane occurs. Scroll pane example is done, how that particular scroll pane works, that we are seeing here. The scroll pane is the application, looks very different from previous one. Okay, rather than displaying text, this scroll pane contains an image. The scroll pane also has two scroll bars, a row header, a column header, and four corners, three of which have been customized. Okay, we are having here two scroll bars, upward, downward, left, right. These are the two scroll bars. A row header we can see it is given for the row. Then a column header is also given in the centimeter, 0 1 2 3 4 5, just like that for the horizontal also. And four corners, one of that is customized, means we have written centimeter in that one corner. In other three corners nothing is written, it is directly connected to that particular horizontal or vertical column. This is nothing but a example of scroll pane. Here we are seeing the image. We can do it for the text also. If we are having a size sorry if we are having a file which is very large in size, we are reading first line, second line, after the 10th line we cannot see the lines that are below that, so that we click on that particular arrow which is horizontally down, which makes the text to go upward and to weave the downward text, so that we can see whatever written below that text which we have written which we have read before. Just like that, if the text is horizontally very long, we can shift the screen towards right or left, and then we can see the whatever data is written in that particular line next to that. For that purpose we are scrolling it to the horizontally. Okay, getting the concept of scroll panes, means how scroll pane works, how the process of the scroll pane is being done, that we are seeing here. Now let us see how scroll pane works, that is given here in detail. A scroll pane may use two separate instances of j scroll bar for the scroll bars. The scroll bars provide the interface for the user to manipulate the visible area. Okay, the following figure shows the three areas of scroll bar. One is the knob. You can see on the figure also. You can see their nomenclature is given. You can see by that names. That is, one is knob. Second is the knob is something called as thumb also. We can call it as a thumb also. The second is arrow buttons, leftward, rightward. And third one is the track. Over it is sliding. Track is nothing but जो track पे वो slide करता है, either left, right, upward or downward. That is given here. When the user moves the knob on the vertical scroll bar up and down, the visible area of the client moves up and down, as we have seen before. Similarly, when the user moves that knob horizontally to leftward or towards the rightward, whatever he want to move towards that side, the visible area of the client moves to that back or forth of the accordingly. He is moving according to the screen. The position of the knob relative to its track is proportional equal to position of the visible area relative to the client. In the Java book and Phil and some others, the size of the knob gives a visual clue as to how much of the client is visible. Means by the size of the knob we can understand how much how much is the size of that particular image or particular whatever text, whatever we want to see, how much is the size of that particular window, we can understand by the knob size. If the size of the knob is so big, so we can see how much it can be moved further towards the right side or left side horizontally, up and down. By that we can make an idea about the size of that particular window. Okay, getting how actually that knob works. Now let us see providing custom decorations. If you want to decorate that particular fields, knob, scroll panes, we can do it as how we want to do it. The area drawn by a scroll pane consists of up to 9 parts. The center, there are 9 parts of that particular scroll pane area, which consist of the center, the 4 sides and 4 corners. Okay, 4 sides. On the right side of that particular image we are having a scroll pane to move up and down. Below side we are having for moving horizontally. Then these are the 9 parts we can see on the scroll pane area. Besides, the center is the only component that is always present in all the scroll panes. Okay, besides scroll bars, the sides can contain column and row headers. A corner component is visible only if both the sides that intersect at the corner contain visible components. This is how we can do some of the decoration in the either in the corners or on the sides of that particular scroll pane. Now let us see sizing a scroll pane. We can change the size of that particular scroll pane. How we can do that, let us see. Unless you explicitly set a scroll pane's preferred size, the scroll pane computer is based on the preferred size of its 9 components, whatever the 9 components we have seen before. Depending on that, if we are not giving a size to that, then preferred size or by default whatever the size is given, that depends on the 9 components, the viewport, and if present, the 2 scroll bars, the row and the column headers, and the 4 corners. These are the parts that can be present by default. The largest factor, and the one most programmer care about, is the size of the viewport used to display the client. Whatever the viewport we can see about that particular image or text, that is most important. Center area, that is most important, so that it is of big size. Now how we can change the dynamically changing the client size of that particular scroll pane. We can change dynamically. How that is done, let us see. Changing the size of a scroll pane's client is a two-step process. Okay, how it is done? First, set the client's preferred size and then call revalidate on the client to let the scroll pane know that it should update itself and its scroll bars. Let's look at the example down. Before that, do you understand what we have seen in this point? We have to first give a preferred size to that particular client's we have to set a preferred size for that particular client, and then we have to call it a revalidate to the client, so that he that particular scroll pane will understand he can change that client can change the size of that particular scroll pane. Here's a picture of an application that changes the client size whenever the upper places a circle whose bounds fall outside of the client's current bounds. The program also changes the client size when the user clears the drawing area. Okay, getting it? Means whenever we are adding one circle in look at the image. Whenever we are adding one circle to that image, and if that image bounds means boundaries, if the sum of the boundaries of that image goes outside the boundaries of that window, means we cannot see that, then it will change the size of that particular scroll pane, because it will increase its size, because whole area should have to be seen by the particular client. That's why this is how we can change the size of client's scroll pane. Here's the code that changes the drawing area size when necessary. Now let us see. If changed, update client's preferred size because the area taken up by the graphics has gotten larger or smaller. If we clear one particular circle, then it will become smaller. If we add number of circles in that, the area will increase. This is how told here. Drawing area set preferred size. Initially it will set a preferred size given by the client. The new size, let the scroll pane known to update itself and its scroll bars. Drawing area dot revalidate. Revalidate means we have to give the command of revalidate, so that particular scroll pane will understand that particular scroll pane can change the client size depending on the circles, or for example some circles, or depending on the components we are adding into that particular area. Note that when the client changes the size, the scroll bars adjust. The scroll pane doesn't resize, nor does the viewpoint. Whatever the size of viewpoint, that does not change, or the scroll pane also does not change. Only the size of that particular client view is getting changed. Okay, getting the concept about the scroll panes, how we can why the scroll panes are used to get the clear that particular image, or to see the whole text from a text file. That is the use of that particular scroll pane. How we can change the size of the scroll pane, that also we have seen. Now let us see the scroll pane API. The following table lists the commonly used scroll related constructors and methods. Other methods you are most likely to invoke on a JScroll pane object are those such as set preferred size, that is superclass provide See the J component API for tables of commonly used inherited method. Okay, some of the following are scroll related constructor we will see, and other commonly used constructor are, as we have seen, the prefer size, which its super class provide, and J scroll pane, whatever we change, we can change the prefer size of that. Now API for using scroll pane falls into these categories: setting up the scroll pane, then decorating the scroll panes, implementing the scrolling savvy clients, methods in other classes related to scrolling. Okay, this was all about the scroll pane. We have seen in detail how that scroll pane works and what is the use of scroll pane. Now let's move to next point, that is Java tree, or we can call it as J tree. Java J tree, we can call it as Java Japlet tree. Okay, how the tree, you might be knowing the simple concept of tree. Okay, binary tree, different trees you might have seen. A tree means one, it consists of one main component and different two components, or number of three components we can call it as. Tree is having one component left side, one component right side. Again that second component is having two component, then that third component is having two component. Like that we can graphically plot a tree. That is the general concept of tree. Now we will see Java Japlet tree. The J tree class is used to display the tree structured data. ओके आपने ट्री क्लासिफिकेशन में देखा होगा, इफ वी क्लासिफाई समथिंग इन डिफरेंट टाइप्स वी प्लॉट इट एज अ ट्री. मीन्स इनिशियली, as we have seen before, we are having applets. Okay, and applets is divided or classified into two types: simple applets and japlets. Means how we will plot a tree for this: first we will write applets, then we will give two lines below that and we will write simple applet and japlet. This is nothing but the tree, how we can call it as tree diagram for that particular applets classification. The JTree class is used to display the tree structure data or hierarchical data. JTree is a complex component. It has a root node. What is root node? Root means, do you know what is root of a tree? That is base of a tree. Just like that, root node means from where we start the classification. Don't get only about the classification. That is just for the purpose of your understanding. Root node is whatever the basic we have seen. As we have seen in last example, applet will be called as root node. At the topmost, which is a parent for all the nodes, that is root node in the tree. It inherits the J component class. JTree class declaration, public class. This is how we declare a JTree class, how we can program it, or how we can code that particular tree or japlet tree. For that, how we declare that, or syntax we are saying: public class JTree extends J component, implements scrollable, accessible. These are some of the constructors that are commonly used in J tree. J tree, which creates a J tree with a sample model. Then J tree object and value creates a J tree with every element of specified array as the child of the new root node. Then J tree node root creates a J tree with a specified tree node as its root, which displays the root node. These are the commonly constructor we are using for designing that J tree. This is an example of the J tree. Now we will see this program and then we will see after the execution of the program how that J tree will appear on the screen. Import java.swing, import java x swing.tree default mutable tree node. We are writing mutable tree node. Public class tree example, jframe f tree example. F is equal to new jframe default mutable tree node style is equal to new default mutable tree node style, tree node in bracket style. Default mutable tree node color is equal to new default mutable tree node, we are writing it as a color. Default mutable tree node font, new is equal to new, we are writing it as tree mutable text node in bracket font. We are giving this default, we are giving default style, default color, default font to that particular tree node. Style dot add color, style dot add font means we can change that particular font and color. Default mutable tree node red is equal to new default mutable tree node red. We are changing the color of that particular tree, so we are writing red for that particular tree. Default mutable tree node blue, its tree node's color we are writing as blue, then we are adding black color and then green color respectively. Color dot add red, color dot add blue, color dot add black and color dot add green. We are adding these four colors. Firstly we have written style dot add font, and after that, before that we have written style dot add color, and we are adding the four colors. That's why we have written default mutable tree node red is equal to new, means we are giving the new color to that particular tree, to default tree, whatever the default tree was present, to that default tree we are giving a new color. jt is equal to new tree style, f dot add jt, f dot set size 200 we are setting the size of that particular tree, f dot set visible is equal to true. Public static void main string args and new tree example. How the output of it will appear: style, then color, then red, blue, black, green, and then font. Initially we have given style and we have given two main components to the style. Here style is nothing but a root node, and color and font we have given the two components of this root node. Means style can be for example, consider a style we have classified into color and font, and then we are giving four components to that color. Okay, getting it? Here we were writing for the style. Initially we have written for the style, color and font. This was the example for how the j tree appears on the screen. Getting the concept? This is how the tree you whenever you are browsing, or whenever you are on the PC, you can see on any drive. Consider you are browsing on the drive tree, you are searching on that drive tree. Whenever you click on that drive D, you can see the components present under that, and it consists of different components under that. Means that particular D consists of number of folders, and that folders also consist of number of folders. This is nothing but how we are plotting a tree for different purposes. That also we can plot as a tree. This is how tree is plotted for different purposes. Okay, now let us see next point, Java J tables. How we have seen the last point. Now we will see Java tables. In the the J table class is used to display data in tabular form. Table as it is name indicates, it is in the tabular form. It is composed of rows and columns. J table class declaration. We know what the components present in a table are nothing but some of the rows and some of the columns. So we will see some of the constructors. First is J table, which creates a table with empty cells. Only J table, empty cells. J table object rows and object columns. It will create a table with specified data, some number of object and number of rows and number of columns. It will create the table with that. Now we will see the example or program code for the tables, how we can create the tables. Import Java x.swing public class table example jframe f table example. We are seeing here example of table, so it is written f is equal to new jframe string data 101 AMIT 67000 102 JAI 780000 101 Sachin 70000. String column First will be ID 101, 102 and 103 is nothing but the IDs of different names. Then name Amit, Jay and Sachin, these are the three names given there. And next to that is salary of each and every employee of that particular company. J table JT is equal to new J table data column. JT dot set bounds 30, 40, 200 and 300. It's a boundary are set to that, means that table will have that much amount of boundary for writing these letters and numbers. J scroll pane SP is equal to new J scroll pane. F dot add SP. F set size 300 comma 400. F set visible is equal to true, we can see it, that is visible. Public static void main string args and new table example. Now let us see the output of that particular program. This is how that table appears on the screen. First we are having IDs 101, 102 and 101. Again, sorry, I think there is again it was 101. There is something problem in that particular program while creating. He have given the same IDs to two different names for Amit and Sachin, then name and then salaries of the corresponding people. This is how the table is appeared on the screen. Behind that table, आपको टेबल किसी भी screen पे table दिखता है, behind that whatever the code is done in the Java, this is the code for creating that table. Now Java table with list selection listener means if I want to select a particular person on that table, particular person or particular component on that table, how that table is created. Okay, initially we were having this table, here we can only see that. If I want to select a particular, consider I want to select Jay, then how to select that particular person is given here in this program in Java table with list selection listener. Import java x dot swing, import java x dot swing dot event, public class table example, public static void main string jframe f is equal to new jframe table example, string data 101 Amit 67000, 102 J, then 101 Sachin. These are the three names we have seen. Same example we are seeing here again, only how to select that particular data or particular table or row or column. String column ID name and salary as we have seen before. Final J table JT is equal to new J table data and comma column. JT set cell selection enabled true. List selection model select is equal to JT get selection mode. Select dot set selection mode. List selection model dot single selection, we have to select only one, that is why here is given single selection. We are selecting only one row or column or one particular component of that whole table. Select add list selection listener, new list selection listener, public void value change list selection event e, string data is equal to null, int row is equal to jt get selected row, whatever the row is selected it will get selected. Int column is equal to jt get selected column. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than row length I plus plus, means every time he will scan that particular row and from 0 to length 0 to the length of that row I plus plus we have to find. He will scan to that particular rows of the table, and when if that matches to the data he want to search, then he will click there. For int 0, j is less than columns length j plus plus, data is equal to string jt get value at row I and column j. Data is equal to string t get value at row I and column j. System out println table elements selected is. Okay, how that particular system will give the output is table element selected is plus data, whatever the data he want to select. Means if you want to select the id of particular person, whatever the input was given, then at the output he will show the element selected is and the value id of that particular person. J scroll pane sp is equal to new j scroll pane. F add sp, F set size 300 200, F set visible true. The output will be, this table will occur at the output, and we, the particular person want to select that Sachin name. So if you select an element in column name, name of the element will be displayed on the console. The table element selected is Sachin. As we have seen above in the program in the blue line, table element selected is plus the data whatever is selected. The table element selected is Sachin. This is how it will appear at the output. Okay, understood how that table occur on the screen, how we can select a particular component of the table or component of the row or column. This is explained in the above example. Here ends the first unit. Thank you.